everybody. Good afternoon for our special edition of the Outdoor Showcase. I'm Mike Delvisco. That's Sheila Bunch. Sheila, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm wonderful, but I am so excited about this evening. I mean, we've got a very special guest and some very special information coming up this evening.
Yes.
It's pretty fascinating.
Yep. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and you know, our normal broadcast days will be the last Thursday of the month. But because everybody's getting ready to get out in the water, it's finally starting to get to be some good weather. We thought we would do a little boating, actually a pretty cool product to start with, and then a little bit of boating safety stuff for you guys heading out in the water. So good idea there, and I can't wait to get the show going.
Me neither. I'm very excited about our next guest and his product. I mean, when I seen it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is the greatest thing in the whole world. And I cannot believe, I cannot wait to see at least 15 of them running down the lake, because that boat is like out of this world. I mean, it was just, I couldn't believe it.
And here he is with us right now, Chris Owen from Montara Boats, right here in Tennessee. And I'm just gonna hand it right over to you, and you can tell everybody what you've got, because it's super cool. And the best way that I can describe it was it's part pontoon boat and part ski boat. And if you took those two and mashed them together, that's what you get. You get your boat right there. So you can do some skiing, some hanging out, some riding around, some barbecuing. It's the perfect craft. If you could figure out how to get like a 12-foot trolling motor on that thing, I'd be going bass fishing in it.
Well, come on over. We'll hook you up. We can make that happen. It's a very unique product. It basically is a towboat style hull, a surf boat hull with a pontoon top on it. When it first came out, people called it the first surfing pontoon, but it's really not a pontoon. It's more categorized like a deck boat. So it does have a full hull, like a surf boat. And we've done a lot of work on it, perfected the wakes on it. And kind of the way to think of it today is it's actually a surf boat you can pontoon with. So we're giving you the room, the comfort, the convenience, the storage, and the ride of a really nice tri-tune boat. But we're giving you the handling and the wake capabilities, surfing, wakeboarding of a towboat, like a Mastercraft Malibu Ski Nautique.
That's awesome. And I'm not bragging or anything, and hopefully we can see this, but this is my my skiing here. This is the Hudson Daily Sun, circa 1978. Back when I actually, was good enough that I could actually ski across the lake. I haven't the slightest clue who took that picture or how it ever got in the paper. But my folks found it and sent it to me, and it was stuffed in a box someplace. But that's I used to ski quite a bit when I was much younger, about 40 years younger than what I am now. So I wish we had one of those around when I was skiing. We used to ski off the bass boat.
Well, that's a nice thing about what we have is, when you're out there surfing, you're only going 11 and a half miles an hour. So if you do happen to fall, it's not very hard. So the water's nice and soft. You ease into it. So, it's really a sport for anybody. Surfing is, from little kids to grandparents. It encompasses the entire water sports industry. Really, anybody can do it. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to get out with your family. And the thing that we think we provide, our wakes are spectacular. If you haven't seen them, we've got a few good videos on montaraboats.com, or if you get a chance to come by the factory, we keep a boat here to demo people with, and then also make it out to some of our dealers who can also take you out as well. But the wake is very, very nice. But when you compare it to a towboat, you put 12 people on our boat, you've got plenty of room to spread out. You have plenty of room for all your stuff. And ease of entry it's a lot easier to get onto the boat. So you're not stepping down into the boat like you do a towboat. You're not sitting on top of each other. You're able to spread out. You have a lot of room, and you still have the weight characteristics that a towboat has. So you got the room and the ride, and still the sportability.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the wake surf deck on the back?
We have a platform on the back. Yes.
Uh-huh. What about the storage for the boards?
We actually have in the front, we call it the basement. There's a door that opens up from the front of the boat towards the back, and there's 2 steps. You can step down in, and all your electronics are there. And then on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, you have storage compartments. And then when the engine hatch raises up, if you're not surfing, you empty your ballast system. You've got tons of storage in there.
Awesome.
So all kinds of room. We even have 37 cup holders.
Is it 37? I thought it was just 18.
No, 37. We figured you need one for your drink, one for your phone. So everybody takes something with them. So you got to have storage room for everything.
Okay, what about a stereo system on this thing?
Stereo, we're offering Rockford Fosgate. We have a couple of different variations. We have a bass system standard, and then an advanced and a premium audio. So you can get it as loud as you want, or keep it as basic as you want to. Of course, Bluetooth, all that stuff as well.
Now, not only wake surfing, can you can ski behind this boat?
Yeah, you can ski behind it, but it's going to be typical of any 25-foot or 23-foot boat. I mean, the wake is not a tournament wake for slalom skiing, but it's definitely something you can do back there.
Cool. Well, the wake surfing has become a big thing. I mean, that's we spend a lot of time in the summertime doing that.
Yeah, pretty much. 90% of the boats you see out there are surfing. We're not seeing as much wakeboarding out there as we used to. I think the knees are getting a little sore on most people out there. So, we see a lot of people tubing, a lot of people surfing. So this boat's capable to do anything that you want. And our 25-footer, we're running 4,200 pounds of ballast. And you have a 104-gallon fuel tank, so you get an additional around 700 pounds there. So we're displacing a lot of water. But with the design of our hull, we're not pushing waters like some of the larger towboats. So we're a little bit more on top of it. So we're not burning near as much fuel.
Awesome. So now, how hard is it to get these boats right now? I know a lot of people are behind on getting boats. I mean, is this boat really easy to get a hold of? No. It's
a little tight right now. We're not really having product supply interruptions. We're able to get all the inventory we need to build. We're a very young company. We're just a little bit over a year old, so we're growing. We're building about 8 boats a week right now, and we hope to do. Yeah, it is really good. I mean, considering our first 6 months, even with COVID shutting us down, we were able to ship a little over 100, and we should have 150 built between the start of January and the end of June, and we can build about 400 boats a year in this facility. But we've outgrown this facility already and are looking for a bigger building right now.
Oh my goodness. So you guys have really worked really hard at this.
We really have. We've got a lot of really good people. We have experience from the pontoon industry and experience from the towboat industry. So we've got some really, really good people that understand the water sports industry. And then, I think the coolest thing about our company is we're a boating company run by boaters. As we use the product, we surf, we wakeboard, we ski, we barefoot ski, we do a lot of these things, but we actually use the product. So we typically run into the issues a consumer would have run into before they do. A lot of the companies out there now that are public, a lot of that getting out on the water and using the product like they used to, they just don't do it.
Awesome. Mike,
Yeah, so Chris, when I was watching one of your videos, which was super cool, by the way, of boarding behind no rope, right behind the boat, just riding that wave. How and I caught it like when it was halfway in, so I didn't get a chance to see how it actually starts. So okay, so I'm behind the boat. Obviously, I got to start off with a rope. Is that correct?
You don't have to. I mean, that's the best way to learn. You start off with a short rope, and you get up, and then as you learn, you'll learn how to scoot the boat a little or the board a little closer to the boat, and you'll ride with slack in that rope. Once you're able to ride with slack in the rope, then you can just drop it, and you'll go without the rope.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike. I got to interrupt you. I am very upset, Mike. You should have asked me to send pictures of me wake surfing. I've got some. I mean, seriously, you didn't ask me.
You should have, Sheila. You should have come prepared. Look at there. I am.
I know you were going to do that.
Look at that.
I mean, if you want to teach you how to do this, we will go to Chris's shop, get a boat, we'll go out.
Yep, come on. We welcome you.
So how many dealers do you have at this point, Chris?
We have about 25 dealers and about 37 locations.
So anybody that's interested in this fantastic boat can go on your website and find your dealers.
Yeah, there's a dealer locator there. They can pick that, or they can call us here at the factory or email us here, and we can give you the information who your closest dealer is. If you don't have a dealer in your area, you're always welcome to come here to the factory. I said we keep a couple boats here in stock just to take customers and dealer prospects out so that they can ride, drive, and see how the boat performs. And we have plenty of surfboards here, so we've got all the goodies.
So you sell a little bit of everything to make a pleasant day on the lake.
Well, we don't sell the surfboards; we just use them.
Okay, gotcha. I understand. So, how many people can get on this boat at one time?
Well, our 25 footer is rated for 16 people, and our 23 is rated for 14.
Okay, so you have two different styles of boats. Is that correct?
We just have two different sizes. We have a 23 foot and a 25 foot, and then we have two seating configurations. They're available in both sizes. We have more of the traditional pontoon center walk-through with just all bench seats. And then we have what's called the center walk-through dual helm. So you have dual captain chairs. That's becoming more popular because if it's just two people, a lot of times they like to sit right next to each other facing the same direction. So we have both floor plans available in both lengths.
Awesome. How many different colors can we get?
We have a lot. We have 3 different blues. We've got lime green. We got black, red. Pretty much all your basic colors. If you want a special one, we can probably do it.
Oh, that sounds like a plan for me.
And
Tennessee Owen.
Chris, what type of a trailer? Because you see a regular pontoon boat, and it's got that long trailer with the curved bunks on each side. Is yours a similar type trailer?
No, it's more like a towboat trailer. It looks exactly like a towboat trailer, and we buy them locally from Boatmate Trailers. So we use a lot of the local companies. It's really nice to be here in Tennessee. There's so many suppliers that supply the local boat manufacturers. Having Supra and Malibu and Mastercraft and Sea Ray and Yamaha, all those guys here close. So we're able to take advantage of a lot of the same suppliers.
Awesome. Oh, I'm excited about seeing all these boats running up and down the lake this summer.
We are too. Instead of 15, we're thinking more like 50.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that one.
Yeah, we're going to see them all over.
Last year, actually, my little granddaughter was 2 years old, and she was out there wake surfing.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was learning how to ski last year. So, it's a great sport, which leads us to what Mike's got going on with the boater and safety, because we had a lot of new boaters out there last year.
Yes,
and it was, some of them, they needed help.
They do.
They needed a little help, but that was okay. It was great seeing all the boats out there last year. So, what's your future on this company, Chris?
Wow, it's really kind of excuse me, kind of surprising to us how fast we are growing. Just trying to keep up with demand is unbelievable. COVID has created a market where people, are they're staying home and they're vacationing at home, staycation, and buying boats or RVs or things like that. And that's created a big uptick in the entire market, but we feel we're a little extra special that we're really combining two boats in one. So, when you look at a towboat out there, I mean, the average price of a towboat is, $150,000 to $175,000, and a lot more. And
what's your starting price on your boats?
Yeah, we start about 100,000 and go up to about 160. But when you go out on the lake and you look at all these docks, almost every dock you go by, you see a pontoon boat and a towboat or an inboard outboard. So in many occasions, those people are spending $200,000 plus for those two boats. So we have one boat that you can accomplish both things with for a lot less money, and you only have one boat to maintain. One boat to winterize, do your oil changes, all those things. So you only have one boat to take care of, and you're saving money while you're doing it.
And you can have all your family doing one thing.
Oh, absolutely. You have everybody out there. And how it is today. When you go out on the water, it's typically multiple families. You're going out with your family, and your kids are bringing their friends, and so you've got a lot of people and a lot of gear. We're giving you room for that.
Well, that you said something right there. In the past, what I liked about your boat is what you said was it's like two boats into one. Because here at my house, there have been many times that the kids go out wake surfing, and then another group goes out on a pontoon boat.
Right.
And it would be nice if we could combine all those together where we're out at the same time with everyone else. So I was really impressed when I seen your boat. Yeah,
that's what we're trying to give you, is everybody in one boat. And I'd heard at a boat show one time that this guy had said to me that he goes, I want the coolest boat that I can get that I can fit everybody on. He goes, because not only do I want my family to go, but I want my friends or my kids' friends to come with us, so that in the summer I feel like I've been able to influence my kids' friends, so that when I know my kids are out with their friends somewhere else, that I've had a little bit of insight into how they act, and I've given them some of my guidelines and things. So boating really is able to do that. And with our boat, we are giving you the room so that you can take everybody with you and do all the things that you want to do.
Hey, Mike, do you have any pictures that everybody can see?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and post some stuff up too after we're done here. And I want to make sure too, Chris, we get your website out one more time before we got to take a break here. Yeah,
absolutely. It's montaraboats.com. Okay. Really simple. Like I said, the dealer locator's on there. We have a lot of good pictures. We have the first rendition of our boat builder on there, so you can build the boat, kind of see what it looks like color-wise. Like I said, it is the first rendition, so there's still some bugs and some fine-tuning to be done there. And so you can do the build a boat. You can see where all our dealers are. There's a contact area there, so you can email us, call us. We welcome visitors. If you want to come see us, we'd love to see you, show you our shop, and take you out on the water if we have the opportunity.
That's awesome. Well, Sheila, we're going to have to plan a trip down there and go visit.
Well, you know what, Mike? That's the whole thing. They've got the boards down there. I'll grab the swimsuit. You grab the swimming trunks. We'll go down there, and I'll show you how to really wakeboard.
Sounds good.
And we'll get another newspaper picture for you.
Yeah.
We'll be showing pictures of me doing something instead of just.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. Chris, thank you very much for being our guest here this afternoon on our boating edition here of the Outdoor Showcase. We're going to make sure we post some pictures up too, and your website again under some of the comments here, and people can find you out. And I can't wait to see that thing in person.
Sounds good.
Everybody needs to check out this boat. Everybody tonight that's really interested in purchasing a boat needs to go to, come on, Chris, say the website one more time.
MontaraBoats.com.
That's correct.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Thanks. Take care.
You bye.
Man, Sheila, that's awesome. That was, you talked to me about this several weeks ago, and then when you showed me the videos of it actually, in person there, that was really, really cool. I can't wait to get a chance to get out there and visit him and see the thing real life.
Oh no, Mike, I'm serious. I was so impressed with this boat. I mean, it's like, but I thought it was 18 cup holders. Now it's what did he say? 26? 36, I think. Oh my gosh.
Because 37 would just be too much. So,
Okay, well, let's see. I'd have to have my Diet Coke, my phone, and then my extra Diet Coke that I had on, So I'd take up 3 at least.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a really, really quick break here, about a 30-second break, and we're going to come back and talk to you a little bit about proper etiquette to put your boat in the water and take it back out again. I'm Mike Delisco. That's Sheila Bunch, the Outdoor Showcase. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The East Tennessee Fishing Show is back. The biggest and best fishing event in the South returns January 20th through the 23rd. Shop the largest selection of custom tackle for bass, crappie, striper, fly fishing, catfish, and more. Plus, we have added saltwater. Get the best deals of the year on new boats. Learn about the latest in fishing equipment with free seminars from top anglers. It's back. Don't miss the biggest fishing event of the year, the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
All right, and we are back, and mark your calendars for that in January 2022, East Tennessee Fishing Show. I'm Mike Delisco, that's Sheila Bunch. And Sheila, I was at it. Those of you who don't know me, I live on Douglas Lake in East Tennessee. And I went down to the boat ramp the other day, and I'm not kidding you, there was probably 200 boats in the parking lot. And probably lined up 20 deep to get in there to go fish. And it was just a normal day. It was a Tuesday or a Wednesday to get out there and go fish. And this week, the Bassmaster is having their tour event, which I'm actually fishing in it. And we start on Thursday of this week. So there's going to be probably 220, 230 boats on the water, plus guys that are out there crappie fishing, catfishing. Maybe they're in their Montara boat out there doing some skiing and having a fun time. So there's a ton of people out on the water. So you had a great idea, and you sent me on an assignment to go and shoot a little short video on how to properly get your boat ready to put in the water.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mike.
So we are going to watch that right now. Here it is.
The weather's getting real nice out. Everybody's going to the lake to go boat and fish and have a good time on the water. But I've got a few tips that are going to make your experience out on the lake a whole lot more enjoyable and a whole lot safer as well. So here we go. Here's a few tips to make your boating experience a whole lot better. So before I trailer my boat down the road, I'm going to make sure that my lights are hooked up, my safety chains are attached, both the brake safety chain and the trailer safety chains. I'm also going to make sure that my bow eye is tight, and also I have a safety chain there as well for extra security. At the back of my boat, I'm going to make sure that my motor toter is properly installed and it's not loose, and also my tie-down straps in the back transom are also tight and secure and ready to go down the road. If I've got any extra gear, I'm going to make sure that they're in the boat and not loose, and also tied down with a strap or put up in a compartment so they're not blowing down the road. So now that my boat's ready to get trailered, my gear's all stowed, I'm ready to head to the lake. We're going to go to the lake, and I'm going to show you a little bit about launching your boat the correct way, especially when there's a crowd of people around. Let's go. Hey, so we're just getting here to the boat ramp now, getting ready to go fish. And the very first thing I'm going to do when I go ahead and pull up is I'm going to get my boat over to the side a little bit, or in a staging area, or in a parking spot. I don't want to get right in line or get right down to the boat ramp and put all my stuff together. I want to have it done before I get down there and go to launch my boat. It just makes things a whole lot safer, a whole lot easier. So I'm going to just do the reverse process of what I did to get my boat ready to trailer it down the road. I'm going to go ahead and undo my tie down straps and back and take my motor toter off. I'm also going to go up front, and my boat has an extra safety latch up in the bow eye, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that as well. But I'm not going to undo the main line that goes to the bow. I'm going to wait till I get all the way down to the bottom of the ramp, because I have seen boats come off the trailer before, slide right off the bunks, especially if it's a really steep ramp. So I'm going to take a little bit of safety and make sure that that is secure before I get my boat all the way to the water, and then I'm going to undo that strap and get ready to get in the boat and launch it. Now, if I've got just myself, I'm going to get the boat just enough in the water so that I can back it off. But if I've got a helper, I just simply attach a rope to the front eye clip, let them hold the rope, and that way I can just back off and they can pull the boat to shore. Either way works really, really good. But if you just use a little bit of common sense and get all your stuff ready before you get your boat down to the boat ramp, you won't be tying people up. You'll have a much better experience out there boating, especially on crowded days, crowded boat ramps. You want to make sure you do it safely and efficiently and quick so you can get out there and catch a bunch of fish. So there's just one more thing to do before you get out there and catch some fish, and that is always wear your life jacket, zip it up, and attach your kill switch. It'll save your life. It's the safe way to go when you're out there boating and fishing. I'm Mike Del Visco for the Outdoor Showcase. I'm gonna go catch a fish.
And yes, I did. I did get to catch a fish, Sheila.
Well, I am so happy, and you had your life jacket on, and you were considerate of everyone else that was getting ready to launch their boat also. So I am so thankful that you actually put that together to get your point across.
Yeah, and and a lot of it is just such common sense stuff. But you'd be surprised. In fact, I saw a guy the other day driving down the road with his back tie down straps just flapping, not even attached to the boat, just dragging behind the trailer. And you can't imagine how many people do that. And that's just, it's just common sense safety stuff that you should do going to the lake, coming to the lake, and every time you go. It's like putting on your seatbelt is just like putting on your life jacket too. So just to be common sense things to let you enjoy your day and let everybody else enjoy their day on the water too, because there's more and more people out there every single day we go.
Well, Mike, a couple of years ago, I was sitting on my back deck, and next thing I knew, I seen this guy actually fly out of his boat into the water. Make a long story short, we got him in. He did not have a kill switch on, and he did not have a life jacket on. And I thought that was the craziest thing I had ever seen in my entire life. But I know when we're talking about the boat, Montara boats and all that, and the wake surfing, I've seen kids out here surfing without life jackets on, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people don't pay attention to any of that. And, and our next guest coming up here right now is the guy that's going to tell us all about more things to be safe on the water with when we're out there boating. Jeff Roberson, Safety Boating Officer, TWRA. How are you? You're on location someplace. You said you'd be out the road somewhere.
Yeah, I'm actually sitting in the middle of the field right now. I'm hoping the sun's not in your eyes.
No, you're looking good right now. And
we can see you perfectly.
Yeah.
Good.
So nice to have you on here this afternoon. I don't know if you saw any of the getting your boat ready for the trailer and going to the lake. But I want to talk a little bit about maybe some things that you can do out in the water. You know, we're kind of at the beginning of the boating season here. It's starting to get nice. This is like I think the first really nice week. And I think all the kids were either off of school last week or they're off this week or a combination. So there's just an excess of people out in the water right now.
There is. We're starting to see an uptick of folks hitting the water. The warm weather is going to bring everybody out.
Yeah. And one of the things too that I've seen, and it's due to all that rain that we had, a week ago or so, and we're still kind of feeling the effects of the high water, and then the current in the water from them trying to let some of the water out, is that all the, some of the springtime debris and trash that's floating around and the logs, and, especially the last couple of days, it's been real windy, and it's hard to see that stuff sometimes. So, you need to just be a little bit cautious when you're out there boating a little bit.
Yeah, it's a seasonal thing. As the water comes up, some of that debris breaks loose, and especially when we have heavy rains, they generate more, or open floodgates, we see that debris. So you just got to be aware of it, be mindful that it's going to be out there, and maybe even avoid boating at night for those reasons, because you can't see it as well at night.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a real good. And I think there was a night tournament. I live here on the lake, and I heard some boats running around about 2 a.m. The other night. So I think there was a night tournament, but you just need to use just a little bit extra caution this time of year with all the debris. And what do you see? What's the biggest thing that you see that people just don't either pay attention to, or they don't realize that they need to do when they're out there in the water?
A couple of things. One would be maintaining a proper lookout, looking for debris, looking for other boaters, looking for any type of hazard. And you just got to know what's going on 360 degrees around you. Another would be just reckless operation, and that covers a myriad of things. But any act that endangers life, limb, or property, that falls under that category. So that's things like sitting outside the seating area or riding on a swim deck, overloading your boat, weaving through congested waterway traffic, things like that. So you've got to be aware of what's going on around you, debris, people, other hazards, and make sure everyone in your boat is safe at the same time.
Yeah, all good stuff. And, right now we're not seeing a lot of the people out there jet skiing and swimming and things like that. The water is still a little bit cold. It's about 60 degrees, maybe just a shade over at 60. So it's still a bit chilly, although I did see a couple people jet skiing last Wednesday when it was like 80 degrees out there. They were starting to get antsy, but that will, I'm sure in another month when we get towards, mid-May, Memorial Day, there'll be more and more people out skiing, out swimming, out jet skiing. And then, from my standpoint, because I bass fish for a living, you got to be, cognizant of those people too, because they don't follow any particular route when they're out there in the lake. And I think for the average person to kind of understand which direction to drive on the lake instead of just going every which way, that's what makes it a bit chaotic sometimes.
It does. People are used to driving on the road or riding in cars. We do it every day, where there's lines, there's traffic signals or stop signs, things to kind of direct you. Those exist on the waterway, but not as many people are familiar with those. There are rules of the road that apply to the water. There are buoys, which signify where you should travel. Those type things, we offer actually a free class. Coast Guard puts class on, the auxiliary puts classes on, but TWRA officers, we teach boating safety classes that cover those topics and in depth to keep you safe and keep others safe on the water. Yeah.
Is there a particular age that, like, if you're a boater under this age for the first time, and is there a course that's mandatory, or?
There is. So anybody born after January 1st of 1989 has to have completed that certification to operate a boat in Tennessee. It varies a little state by state, but it's all right in that age group. In Tennessee, you never outgrow it, so you'll need it for the rest of your life. take the class and pass the test, and you're certified for life. You never have to renew it or anything like that.
That's great. And all that information too is on the website, I would imagine.
Correct. Our website is tnwildlife.org. It has everything about Tennessee Wildlife and the agency. You click on the tab that interests you, whether that's boating, fishing, hunting, anything like that.
That's great. And I think that's really important too for the youngsters to, learn just the rules of the water, and that's really, really important for them to know that. It's important for young folks, but also for all age groups. We have a lot of parents that would come drop their kids off, and I encourage them to stay. It's a free course. Encourage them to stay and listen to, and a lot of them do. And they, at the end, they're like, man, we didn't know all this stuff. We're glad we stayed and learned. Even people that have been boating all their lives, you're going to learn something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with that one. Now, let me ask you this. Last year, what was the main problem you had with some of the new boaters? I mean, I live on the lake, and I know last year we had a lot of new boaters, and some of them wasn't quite familiar with the rules. And one of the questions I got asked a lot was, what's the age limit on life jackets? When do they need the life jacket on? And you mentioned earlier not swimming or sitting on the swim deck when boats were running. We ran into that problem a lot last year, where parents were letting their kids sit over there or back there while the boat's actually running. And so what were some of the problems that you ran into last year?
Let me address your life jacket question. It's anyone under the age of 13 is required to wear the life jacket at all times while the boat's underway. So if the boat's at anchor or run aground or tied to a dock, legally they can take it off. But if it's not one of those three, they have to wear it if they're under the age of 13. That's on an open motorboat. If they go into a cabin, they wouldn't be required to wear it in a cabin boat. But once they set foot on the deck, they're required to put it on. As far as new boaters, it's just being inexperienced. Some of the things we covered, not knowing the rules of the road, not knowing the proper seating areas, not ever operating a boat before and not being familiar with the equipment. We ran into a lot of that as well because there was a huge influx of new boaters last year. Everybody was social distancing, and a great place to do that is with your family on the lake. So I'm sure y'all saw a huge sale on boats, new boaters, and with that came some of those heartburn, new headaches to people being introduced to something new.
And don't forget the drinking some boaters like to do.
Yeah, that's something we look for. I won't say exclude. We look for with every stop. Is that operator impaired to a level that they shouldn't be operating? The legal limit on the waterways is the same as it is on the roadway. It's 0.08, and we look for that almost on every stop, just to make sure that they're going to be safe to operate and not injure themselves or another boater.
Awesome.
And Jeff, too, you mentioned a good point earlier that a lot of the parents of, say, the youngsters, and I immediately thought of, all of the high school tournaments that are going on now. That's high school fishing here in Tennessee and virtually everywhere else is getting really, really big. And it's not uncommon to have, a high school or a college tournament that's got a couple of hundred boats. And, that the high school kids are not required to, they can't drive the boats. It's a, chaperone or a coach or an adult that's driving the boat for them. But, at the same time, that adult has to understand the rules too. And that's actually a good way to, kind of instill those rules into the kids, not just how to catch some fish, but, here's the proper way to drive your boat, learn from example kind of thing.
Yeah, and most of those high school teams through their organization, the organization is requiring the adult as well as the children to have been certified before they allow them to fish. So we've been teaching multiple classes just for those high school teams to get them up to speed, as well as our regular public classes open to everyone.
That's great.
When you're talking about classes, how often do you have these classes?
So during the peak times of the year, the summertime, when everybody's thinking about boating, we have multiple per month in the Knoxville area. Outside the immediate Knoxville area, there'll be 1 or 2 per month. But all those are listed on our website. With COVID, you have to pre-register now. Used to it was just we opened the doors and people came, but you have to pre-register because we have to limit the number of seats and make sure we have the proper seating and distancing for that. But that constantly is changing. So we may, if we see a need for a class or get a request for a class, we'll add that. So you may look today and there's only 2 seats open, and tomorrow we've added 3 or 4 more classes. So you just have to check the website regularly.
And how long is the class?
It typically lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. In some cases, we try and do it on 2 weeknights to break it up, and in a lot of cases, we try to do it just on one Saturday morning. Get out of the way that way.
Okay, and Donna's asking, what was the website again?
tnwildlife.org. Or you can Google TWRA and it'll come straight to us.
Awesome. And Donna, to answer your question, yes, Dandridge Ramp is where the Bassmaster Tour event is going out starting Thursday of this week. So anybody locally here, there'll be a lot of boats on the lake here this week.
I'm going to stay at home.
I'm gonna go try to win. That's what I'm doing.
I know you are.
Yeah. And actually, good segue into my next question is that you don't just do boating stuff, but it's all the fishing too. And there's lots of guys that are out crappie fishing right now, and bass fishing's everybody's starting to get catching their bass now too. But the crappie guys are starting to wind down just a little bit, and that's another one of your big focuses is making sure everybody is legal out there in the water when they're fishing too.
Right. Our job kind of changes with the season. So if you're in this position, if you don't like what you're doing, wait a week or 2 and you'll have a different job. So we enforce all hunting, fishing, boating, and then environmental laws. So this time of year, like you said, we're looking at crappie enforcement, making sure folks aren't keeping too many or keeping undersized. We're ramping up into the boating season, looking for safety violations and those impaired operators. We're in the middle of turkey season, so we're getting called on turkey poaching cases or trespass, things like that. Toward the fall, boating still stays pretty strong in East Tennessee. Deer season kicks in and then duck season, and you got dove, and then it turns right around and starts back over in the spring with where we're at now.
So you're pretty much busy doing something 12 months out of the year.
All the time. We get maybe a week or 2 of a little bit of a lull in February. There's no seasons open and it's too cold to get on the lake. We take a breather for a week or 2, some of us, and we're right back at it.
Awesome.
Well, we do appreciate our officers. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Cool. Anything else that we didn't cover, Jeff?
I encourage anybody and everybody to take that class. Again, if you're born after 1989, you're required by law to have it. The biggest takeaway I can give you is whether you take a class or not, whether you are driving that boat or not, or new boater, experienced boater, is to wear a life jacket. Mm-hmm. They're going to float every time. They're going to float. Even if you're a good swimmer, not a good swimmer, it doesn't matter. They make the inflatable types now. They're a little expensive, but they're a lot more comfortable to wear. So if tan lines or it's too hot is your excuse, that excuse is gone now too.
Well, I want to say that. When my kids were growing up, one thing that, first of all, I live on the lake, and if you came to my house and you had a child under the age of 13, your child was not even allowed to walk out on my dock unless they had a life jacket on. And the one thing I always taught my kids was to respect the water. It is a great, whether they're fishing, whether they're wakeboarding or whatever, respect the water, respect your boat, respect yourself, that way nobody's going to get hurt. You're not going to get anybody else hurt. And a lot of this is just common sense, but sometimes the new people that's right now getting into boating and fishing, some of them don't know those things. And some of the kids have never been raised on the lake where that they know to wear a life jacket.
I'm the same way. If I don't set foot near the water without my life jacket on, in a long shift, and I left my sunglasses on my boat. If I have to walk back down to it, I put my jacket back on before I even walk down to the dock. If I just go down to wash it, I put my life jacket on. Of course, when I'm patrolling, I got it on. And in my personal life too, if I take the family out, nobody gets on my boat without a life jacket. I've worked, I'm guessing, somewhere between 30 and 50 drownings in my career so far, and I have yet to see anybody drown in a life jacket. It's possible, it could happen, but I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Common denominator with each of those drownings was no life jacket.
That's sad.
Now, Jeff, so in Florida, I believe they have a life jacket rule, where if you're wearing one of the inflatables and you stop operation of the boat and you get up to fish, if that is the only life jacket in the boat, you need to wear it unless there's a throwable as well. So in other words, you can't take that inflatable off and put it down on the floor, because if you fell out and somebody throws you the inflatable, it's not, it's defeating the purpose. Is there any similar Tennessee law?
We go by the top of the life jacket, and each jacket has a Coast Guard type printed on the label. If it's a Type 5 inflatable, it does not count as a jacket unless you're wearing it. It's considered a Type 3. It will count as a life jacket even if it's in a compartment or laying down. Mm-hmm. And that it'll say on a Type 5, if you read the label, is not approved if not worn. So if you have that question with your jacket, just read the label, and it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. And I think that's important for people to know, because, you see them in the store a lot of times, and they're rifling through jackets, and they're picking this one or that one. And do they really know the differences between them? And that may be something that's in your course too, that's going to explain that. Yeah, exactly. Explain the differences between the life jackets.
It is. And we run into that with children, some smaller children. They make swim aids that are not Coast Guard approved, that actually don't float the child unless the child is moving their arms and legs. And a Coast Guard approved jacket, you can enter the water and not have to do anything. You're going to float. But if it's not a Coast Guard approved, if you're not moving your arms or legs, you're still going to sink.
Good information there.
Yeah. And before we go for another break here, any last words for people? I know we covered a lot of great information here in the last 15 or 20 minutes.
Sure. My biggest takeaway is always going to be wear your life jacket. Float, and you don't.
Thank you very much.
And we'll make sure that people get the info and take the boating safety course. That's a really, really great thing for people to do. You need to do that, especially if you're new to boating. Make sure you're safe out there in the water. I put my life jacket on every single time I go. Even if I'm loading my boat onto the trailer, my life jacket goes on.
Sure.
Awesome.
There he is. Jeff Roberson, thank you very much for being here on the Outdoor Showcase. We'll see you out there in the water sometime. Hopefully you're not pulling me over.
I'll be looking for you.
Yeah, you can't miss me.
Don't worry, you'll have a life jacket on.
I'll be wearing my life jacket for sure.
Hey, we usually give out the free ice creams with those that wear their life jacket, so you'll get a free ice cream card if you wear it.
I like ice cream.
Yeah. It's just a card. No, we give you a card and you have to go purchase it. You get it for free yourself.
Okay. Oh, so you don't carry them around with you out there?
No, they melt. I'd eat them all. I'd be 200 pounds. 200 pounds, yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's just as good. Again, thank you very much for being with us here this afternoon.
Glad to be here.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I learned an awful lot of cool stuff. Yes.
I mean, I even learned a few things.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad we did that.
Yes, me too. We had a great show so far. We're going to take just another quick break, and then we'll come up and wrap things up and tell everybody what we got on the next show. So we'll be right back on the Outdoor Showcase. I'm Mike Del Visco. That's Sheila Bunch.
If you want to learn how to read your sonar graphs better, well, you're going to want to check this out. During the last 3 decades, I've taught countless people how to read and understand their sonar graphs, and now I'm bringing that experience to you with a brand new Understanding Sonar program. This easy-to-follow program shows you how sonar works and how to incorporate all the different things our sonar units can do to help you locate and catch more fish. I go through all aspects, including 2D sonar, down scan, side scan, GPS and mapping, and putting it all together out on the water. Understanding Sonar is available by direct download, or if you prefer, a hard copy DVD. Either way, you get the same great information. So if you don't get Sonar, then visit get-sonar.com and you'll be on your way to understanding what you're seeing and start catching more fish.
Awesome.
And we're back. Sheila, this is going by way too quick. That was, almost our whole hour of boating.
I was like, this
boating and boating safety. It was a good idea to have another show.
Well, thank you, Mike. I do come up with some good ones sometimes.
You do. and we got more great stuff coming at you the end of this month, too. And we are going to be live again, 6 p.m. on the 27th. No, we're not in May, are we? This is still April. That would be the 29th at 6 p.m. live here at the end of the month Outdoor Showcase.
I know you want to tell us a little bit about what we got going on then.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping things quiet because you never know. You let the cat out of the bag with some things, and then it doesn't happen, and then everybody gets mad at you. But
okay, you want to just keep it a secret?
We teased it the last show, and all I said was Mountain Man, and I did receive a communique from somewhere deep in the woods, and I believe that it is all going to work out. That's all I'm going to say right now.
That sounds great. Well, I still want to talk about this boat that we had on tonight, Montara.
Yep.
I really think that was awesome. And do you remember the website where you could say it just a couple more times?
MontaraBoats.com. MONTARA boats.com.
So what else we got planned this month?
So we have McGill Bates coming up, Brian. He will be on, and then John from Vector Hooks will also be on. And then a little fishing fun with me and someone else.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
All right.
On the 29th, 6 p.m. Outdoor Showcase. I'm Mike Del Visco. You are?
Sheila Bunch.
There we go. Sheila, you got anything else before we sign off?
Nope. Thank you very much, Mike.
Awesome show. Great information. Tune in again and check out here on the Pride Outdoor Network. We've got stuff on the channel, other things other than our live show, which gets archived. So make sure you check out all that stuff. We're going to be adding more and more content. As soon as I'm done winning this tournament here this week, I'm going to be putting some more stuff up there. So be looking for that on the Pride Outdoor Network, the Outdoor Showcase channel. Once again, I'm Mike Del Visco. That's Sheila Bunch.
Signing off.
Soon.